And now, a thought from Mann. You know, I really have to say, Son of Zorn is pretty funny.
Terrific.
I wasn't really expecting too much from it, but after watching it, I actually get genuine laughs from it, and I kinda enjoy some of the characters, mainly Zorn. It's kind of a niche show, but for the most part, it's pretty funny, legitimately funny.
Huh, really?
The main premise of the show focuses on this 2D animated He-Man-like barbarian character named Zorn, and he basically wants to connect with his son, who he doesn't really see too often because he's battling evil in his homeland. So he decides to go visit him, and since he's been so absent from his life, he's deciding, no, I'm gonna be a real father and actually be there for him. And you kind of sympathize with him. Like, when he gets his heart broken by the fact that his son doesn't really want to have anything to do with him, you actually do kind of feel sorry for him. He is pretty much a big personality jerk character, but they don't make him so much of a jerk you just think, oh, I don't like this guy. You think, okay, he's kind of a jerk, but he's trying. He's clearly trying to better himself. And that's just something you gotta do with your main character, or mainly your jerk characters, that if they're gonna be a jerk, they have to try to want to be a bit better than what they are. And for the most part, they do that very well.
I didn't spend any time with my son when he was growing up, and he turned out fine. See?
Wait, no!
Oh, my sweet boy! Oh, God, no! I should have spent more time with you. I'd give anything for one more second.
A lot of the side characters are kind of meh. I don't feel like we're gonna get much comedy out of them. You have Zorn's ex-wife named Edie, who, you just feel like she plays that ex-wife role. Doesn't really approve of the life Zorn had or what he did, so that's why she left him. And it's just like, Then you have her fiance Craig, who's just a big wuss. I'm expecting them to tell him to just shut the fuck up once or something, or just making a joke of where they beat on him for some reason throughout the whole series. I feel like that's what his role's gonna be.
Zorn, it's obvious that you're applying way too much pressure to my hand right now, and actually it hurts.
It does?
It really does.
Oh.
In addition to that, you're emasculating me in front of my fiance.
Then you have Zorn's son, Aligula.
Alangulon! Son of Zorn!
And he just kind of plays the role of the son who doesn't really want to have anything to do with his father, either because he's too outlandish or the fact that he wasn't very much present in his life. And so you kind of understand where he's coming from, but I don't know, he doesn't feel like there's gonna be much to him. It just feels like maybe we could get a few good laughs every once in a while, but I don't feel like we're gonna get much strong material from him. And the thing is, the show is called Son of Zorn, so if he's not that outlandish or that funny, you might have destroyed the show. Granted, it should be more focused on the 2D animated barbarian, but I just feel like the side characters might not get the best lines or might not get the best jokes, and that's kind of what might hurt this series.
And hearing how mad you are makes me want to take that brain gouger and gouge your brain out.
The animation on the show can range from pretty good to particularly with meshing 2D with live action. It's mainly when they have certain shots that you just feel like, I don't feel like they mesh that well. Mainly with the actors. When they're looking at Zorn, I don't feel like they're actually looking at Zorn. I feel like they might be looking at air. That's the thing with mixing live action with 2D animation. You kind of have to have that puppet. Like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, they knew we gotta have this puppet here so everybody knows, including the animators, how it's going to look. Mainly how to shade it, or for the actors, where to look when they're supposed to be acting out the scene. Here, I feel like it might be just they're looking at dead air. I don't feel like they're actually talking to Zorn. And sometimes they have parts where he's just out of the shot and they're constantly cutting back to the people and Zorn. And it's just like, I can kind of tell you just can't really budget in these two things together so much. So it kind of can get a little weird. But the way they do animate Zorn is pretty good. Like, he does shade in and shade out whenever he's in certain lighting. They do that very well. But it's just when they mesh live action 2D, it can be a little
Okay.
The humor for the show actually works very well. It's mainly the idea of this big personality jerk character who thinks he's all that, thinks he can get away with whatever he wants because of where he came from or his upbringing, but reality kind of smacks him down and tells you, no, you're not getting away with that. Like, this is basically this crazy outlandish character put in the real world, but they play it up pretty well. It's structured very well. Like, the real world smacks him down and hit him with a dose of reality easily. And it's pretty funny and very effective for what they go for here.
I'm Zorn, defender of Zephyria, conqueror of the tribes of Aegon, decapitator of the... You gotta be me.
And they really do understand how to make a jerk character sympathetic. They know we can't make him a total asshole. Zorn is sort of supposed to be kind of that hero character. It's just he's kind of out of water. It is like a typical fish out of water, but it's done pretty well. He tries his best to mesh with things going on. It's not like he doesn't understand the way the world works to a degree. He just sometimes can get a little confused here and there, or just revert back to his barbaric ways every now and then because he forgot where he was. But it works for the most part. You actually get genuine laughs, especially when you hear crazy outlandish lines from Zorn.
You know what I drink? The blood of my fallen enemies out of the skulls of their children.
So all in all, Son of Zorn is a pretty good show. It's very humorous. The character of Zorn, he's a jerk, but you sympathize with what he's going through. The side characters could use some more work, get some better jokes here and there, and they could do better with meshing live action with 2D, mainly whenever it's supposed to be there in the same shot. But for the most part, the animation on Zorn is pretty good, and the humor gets legit laughs. A lot of those outlandish lines from Zorn are pretty funny, and he is a pretty funny character. And this just is a pretty good show from Fox. I really do enjoy this. I do feel like it's sort of a niche comedy, but for the most part, it's very enjoyable. I don't feel like it'll get that big a following, but what does it matter, as long as it's still good quality? But that's just a thought.